Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Intel Esports Arena live and kicking here in Copenhagen. Now, just as a very, very short update to show you exactly where we are standing right now, we're just waiting on Team EnVyUs. Obviously, they're over in Mykonos. They're waiting for some computers to come free. They're still in for the allowed slot. So we're still on track. Obviously, there's a couple of games earlier on. They finished a little bit earlier. So all being well, we're still on track to start at our normal time. But for now, we're going to talk about these two teams. Gentlemen, Fnatic and Team EnVyUs. Let's talk about Envy first and how things have been shaping up. Obviously, if we go back to DreamHack, it was a 0-2. They didn't even make it out of groups. Things didn't go too well.
Other than that, though, they've been on an upward trajectory, we would say. That's the lingo we'd use for these guys. And I think the fact that they've kind of stumbled at that hurdle sucks a bit because it was this team started to look like they were getting to more of a legitimate stage. When they first were, I guess, created, it was the leftovers. These guys were, hey, the French super team of G2 has been formed. All of the best players have been ripped out of both the EnVyUs and G2 rosters at the time, and these guys had to rebuild. And now that they've slowly been going through, they actually beat G2 in the New York qualifier for ESL 1, which is coming up in, I don't know, a week and a half now. And that was a big shock that they went on there. They actually beat Gambit as well, so it was good signs. And I think one of the strange things is, or at least strange for me, is within a team with the likes of Happy, Scream, RPK, the best player is XMS at the moment. And that guy seems to be on form for this squad and becoming more and more of a consistent thing.
Yeah, and it's also unfortunate their performance in Malmö because all of the results you're talking about were online, right? They were winning all those qualifiers, but all of that was online, and you know it was interesting to see how they will perform on LAN. And to be honest, you can't really take that much away from their performance because they lost 2 games by a very close margin. They played well. I mean, no glaring mistakes or anything like that. So a bit unfortunate the way they ended up dropping out of the tournament, but now in Mykonos they lost their opener game against VP, so now they have at least one best of 3 more to play on LAN.
Obviously, you know, they're all going to be together though. It's more than anything, it should be a big advantage.
Not always a positive.
Okay.
Especially if you don't like your teammates.
Well, there is that.
And they've
Sounds
also
like you're speaking from experience, Chad. Please tell us more.
And they've also lost earlier in the day, right? They lost 16-6 to VP, which you just mentioned, right? So that's the big loss.
Think the morale is down?
Probably. And maybe they've been out in the sun too much.
But it seems like they had beers there.
So that could be a problem. Maybe the morale is up. But Scream did just tweet before we came back on air that he said, "Mosquitoes, please stop biting me."
That's a rookie mistake.
Where's the error guard? I don't know what you guys call it in the rest of the world. In Australia, it's called error guard.
It's a known fact that mosquitoes don't use Twitter. They're all on Facebook.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't even know what to say.
Wrong social media, Scream. No luck there. They're going to keep on biting you because you're so sweet.
That was really good. That's the best Yanko joke ever.
Is it?
Yeah. It's going to be top 5
It's because of how you
least.
deliver it as well. It just makes it so
It's like a dad joke.
Perfect.
It's like a dad joke, but not as cheesy. Anyway.
On the opposing side, Fnatic. Obviously, new player addition moving up.
New daddy in town.
Cajun.
Golden.
Oh, he didn't like that you were calling him Daddy Cajun yesterday.
Yeah, everyone says that in public, but actually, you know, privately, everyone loves it. Yeah, but what's interesting about Golden is not just the fact that he came from the academy team, but also that he's not actually that young for esports standards, right? He's, I believe, 22 or 23, so he's not this 18-year-old young and upcoming player, blah, blah, blah. He's played CS for a while, and obviously the big talking point is a new guy, never played at this level of CS, has to lead the likes of Crims, Cbble, and Flasha, right? Multiple major winners, guys who also probably, you know, have a bit of an ego on themselves. So it seems to be working out great for now. We saw some great team play from Fnatic, both T and CT side, playing for each other. Crims has had a resurgence of sorts in terms of fragging. He's been a bit more aggressive, a bit more in focus, right? Not so passive as he used to be now. He's more the guy making some moves.
Yeah, I actually thought the same thing. I feel that this could be a new Crims that we might be seeing going forward. He actually looked like he wants to go for entry frags on that T side. He's not just a bomb site anchor that he was very well known for during the Olaf-Crims combo, where you had that awesome duo. Olaf was the one initiating, Crims was the one anchoring the sites. But now it seems like he's much more diverse, and I think that's a really interesting prospect for Fnatic going forwards, because when you look at it on paper, it's hard to pinpoint who the entry fragger is other than JW. And if Crims can step up to that mark, you know, that could be exciting prospects for this Fnatic roster, because Flasher can do it all. If Crims can do it all, that's 2 very versatile players within the team. JW is sporadic, so he's going to have up and down performances. Lekro seems very solid in his approach to the game. And then Golden, actually, as well as having a good structure as an in-game leader, seems like he has is better than what Fnatic have had in the past in-game leader-wise in terms of fragging and putting up kills on the scoreboard. He actually looks very proficient.
Kills more people than Pronax is basically what Chad is trying to say here.
Yes.
I like it. I do like it. How, when you kind of look back at Malmo, and correct me if I'm wrong here, it was actually Fnatic that eliminated Team EnVyUs. Do you think there'll be something, a bit of fire in your belly when you Team EnVyUs and want to try and get a bit of, not necessarily revenge, because it's back at an event, but...
I mean, you obviously, want to beat the team that beat you every single time, but I think nowadays there's so many tournaments, you're going to get so many opportunities, and this is, at the end of the day, an online game. I'm sure it would be the case even more so if we were on LAN, but it's always a case of you want to prove that you are the better team. So not like a huge grudge match or anything along those lines, but they're definitely looking to beat Fnatic.
The most interesting point in this matchup, the first map anyway, the first best of one, is the fact it's going to be on Cobblestone, and that was the map that Fnatic actually eliminated them on. So whether there's adjustments being made. So normally what happens is when you win a map, you are less likely to make adjustments, but because it was 16-13, it was relatively close, then we're probably going to see that coming in from both sides. Whereas, if it was, say, like a 16-9 in favor of Fnatic, that'd probably be stubborn in their approach. Whereas in this case, both teams are probably going to adapt and change, look at their mistakes, and maybe come in with a new game plan, which means we're probably going to have another close matchup. But going forward right now, we've got Fnatic towards the top, right? They're currently in third for the league. This is still like must-win territory for them because, as you mentioned at the start of the show, they had two easier teams who they've beaten. The LDLC is the one that probably is the glaring one which sticks out. And then I think on the other side for EnVyUs, they've already played, 6 games? So they've already gone through quite a chunk of games. I think, what did we play, 22 matches in total?
No, this will be their 9th map.
26 matches?
14 teams, 13 times 2.
Maths was never a strong suit of mine.
Well, they've won three maps out of 8, and funnily enough, one of them was actually Cobble, 16 and 14, but they have played it twice, and it was the same scoreline again, 13 and 6, and that was actually against North. So that, I mean, there's nothing you can take too much from it, but when obviously both these teams have played Cobble as well, it was 16-11, that was against Big when we look over at Fnatic. I mean, what can we talk more about Cobble when we look at strengths of teams? Who does this kind of play off to, do you think?
The thing with EnVyUs is they've been changing their style with this lineup, right? If you talk about the old EnVyUs, it's always, Happy is going to be in drop. I mean, talking to some of the players on other teams, they're like, when we play against EnVyUs, no matter what's going on, we have a player watching the drop window because sooner or later, Happy is going to come there no matter what happens at the other sides of the map. But we actually saw Happy adjusting his own playstyle, not just the teams. Sometimes he's even the first or the second guy coming in just because of that, because when everyone's used to you being the lurker, and when they see you, they know that your team is on the opposite side of the map, where then you can use that as bait, right? You go in first, they think, oh, they must be on the other side, and the rest of the team is just behind you, and you swarm the bomb site. So I do believe that Envy is more coordinated on this map for now, because Fnatic is still a very new team, and they try to play 6 map at the moment. So I would give the favor over to guys from EnVyUs, despite the score at Malmo.
You both kind of mentioned there what Unhappy's position on this map, and you both kind of nodded at the same time. I mean, do teams start to get a read exactly what players are going to do and get used to the strats and stuff?
Especially Happy. He's known as the lurker, which some people could even title as a beta, right? You even saw last night, this is what I was referencing on the train game against Godsent, where he was flanking and coming through Z after they did an in-attack, and I think it was Dennis who was just waiting for him. Like, normally you don't expect to wait as long as what Dennis did, but he knew Happy had to come eventually, and that's just what you expect from him. If you don't see him as part of that initial wave, you're going to expect a flank, and it's always going to be Happy, and it's always going to come. So they're able to pinpoint that quite easily. I think, with his playstyle, Yanko was pointing out some really cool things which they can do with it. I don't think they've fully utilized it yet. I think like something that you could do is send him in as a first guy to take map territory. Even if he trades out, the team's going to think it's the other side of the map, right? You're not going to force out a big rotation. So from there, you can probably do explosions behind that. There's a lot of cool things they can do with that. But I think that Fnatic, for me, just based off of their structure and stuff in this game, would probably be more of a favorite. I think it's going to take a lot of individual performances, and one who we normally sleep on from the EnVyUs side is Sixer, but he tends to have better games on Cobble than other maps, so I think he might be an instrumental player for EnVyUs in this one.
I actually think it's the other way around. I think if Fnatic wins, it's going to be more on great individual plays, and that Envy actually has the advantage when it comes to structure. I had EnVyUs in my top 6 before the league started. Unfortunately, all of their good games came in the qualifiers, and in Pro League they have been a little bit subpar. But I think EnVyUs is also one of the teams that are an upwards trend. I think the main issue for them is, for some reason, they, in crucial rounds, sometimes make silly individual mistakes, like their decision making isn't always on point, even when they're in a 4v3 situation. You know, they do a good job of, with their strategy, getting an advantage or putting themselves in a good spot, but then they somehow manage to, you know, let it slip away, so to speak. And at times when the players are not on point as much individually, that's when they also tend to struggle. Sixer as the main opper can be not just inconsistent, but also, you know, his ceiling isn't really as high as some of the oppers on other Tier 1 and Tier 2 teams.
All right, so that's map 1. Let's kind of wrap this one up then. Score predictions for map 1?
Listen, let's not do score predictions.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, you know, we'll slowly like guide you into the world of CS. We don't do score predictions.
Normally we don't do predictions.
We don't even do predictions.
Really?
But we will, like, for the sake of you, I'm gonna say EnVyUs is gonna lose here because they're playing for Mykonos and they're probably half drunk already.
So this is the in-depth analysis that we do. I'm just going to go with Fnatic. I think they have a better overall style. I think it could be more consistent, so I'm going to back them in.
Okay, map 2 then. Moving to Cash. Where do your allegiances lie here, gents?
Oh, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
One game at a time.
We've got a couple of minutes.
Okay, let's do
We're doing this.
Oh, you
we've
mean
got a couple of
that way,
minutes
okay.
to
Can we try and summon the Betway odds to see what the pundits think the favorite is?
See how this
They're going to
stands.
just pop out of our pool here.
There you go, for you as well.
I don't know the count. Anyway, that's very
Pretty
close.
even.
Very
One
even.
in
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. No one knows what's going to happen.
No, it's Counter-Strike.
Exactly. Any given Sunday, you can either win or lose, Chad. But talking about Cash, another map where both teams have a history of playing it a lot. EnVyUs under Happy, Fnatic under a different in-game leader, but the players have a lot of experience on it. And that's where, you know, it can get very interesting in a sense that it's not that difficult on the T side to get the bomb down, at least, especially towards the A bomb site. And that always gives you a chance to win rounds, right? If you get the bomb down in the after-plan situation, your individuals are in a position where they can make some plays and they can win you rounds based off of individual skill. It's also a very dynamic map, and we saw how Fnatic at times have very good team play on the CT side. So that's something, again, they can use to their advantage, taking map control on different spots of the map in different rounds, right? So EnVyUs can't get a very good read on what's going to happen next.
What do you reckon the server conditions are like? Because I'm going to say they're pretty bad. The players are currently changing server.
Well, you asked and answered, Chad. What do you expect me to say? I reckon the server conditions are not as good, Chad. It doesn't seem that the players are there just yet. A bit of a rainy situation here in Copenhagen. Too hot in Mykonos, too cold in Copenhagen. I think we need to put the server somewhere around
Germany.
Everyone loves Germany.
Yeah.
Good ping for everyone.
Yeah. That's the one we usually veto down to.
True, when you play Face It.
Yeah. Do you know a funny, like, Australian thing? It's like when we greet someone like, they go, oh, hey, Yanko, how you going? Right?
Hey,
response, mate. Yeah, the response from an Australian would be, yeah, not bad. We don't say how we're doing, we say how we're not doing.
Ah,
yeah,
I get it.
It's really dumb.
And you can't really say that you're good because you're a pessimistic nation.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, you are.
I don't speak for the whole country.
I treat it like that. That's how people treat me. Also, it's true, all Serbians are, you know...
Counter-Strike experts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like it. And weatherman as well. Good with the weather.
Yeah, love the weather here.
So they are just getting this server restarted, guys. Apologies about the delay. Really quickly, while we are waiting, guys.
We can pick some fun ones.
Well, just a quick question then. 2 particular players that people need to be watching out for in these couple of games.
Crims from Fnatic.
Reasons being?
He's probably the most skilled player in the server at the moment. I'd say on the Fnatic side. Like, I think JW and Flusher have high skill ceilings, but Crims has been consistently the best over the last couple of weeks, especially since the addition of Lekro and Golden. And we've really harped on Golden a lot, so let's go with Crims. You can take the EnVyUs one. I'll give you the fun one.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Rifle fan, you can watch Scream and his one-taps. That's always fun to watch. But you can also watch Sixer. There's always excitement around him. You know, sometimes he's brilliant, sometimes he's terrible. So... You know, if you're just looking for pure entertainment, go for Sixer.
Jeez. He was a 1.6 player.
Yes, and he was much better in 1.6.
I remember a lot of him on Tuscan with Isahara, and him and Madja, who now plays for Space Soldiers.
That was a pretty good team at the time. And that's why when, you know, I saw Sixer coming back, I felt like, oh, he's actually, you know, because they picked him up as an opera. And I remember Sixer for 1.6. A flashy playmaker type of an opera, but was much more consistent than he is here. So I don't know if it's a matter of still not having enough hours in the game or something along those lines, but I think that he can perform much better than he is at the moment for his team. You see flashes from it every now and then. He has an amazing clutch, you know, every now and then. I remember, you know, I see a 1v3 from him, and I'm like, he's not supposed to do this, but he pulls it off.
You know, a player who might not get away with as much on this under the new structure of Golden would be JW. I think he's still going to be allowed to take the shotgun into drop zone and be a bit of a menace there. But I think you look at a player like JW who requires to be sporadic. You know, the way that he gets his kills is very early. If you look at like entry frag wise on the CT side, or at least opening kills, he gets a very high amount of those. I just think a map like Cobblestone, we talk about this time and time again, it's very difficult for the CTs to find ways to penetrate and get those early kills because the Ts can play quite reserved and use their utility well. So he's one who, if he has a good game, then Fnatic are going to crush them, but he could also have a very bad game and that could really hinder Fnatic performance.
Well, gents, thank you very much. Great fill-in as well, because we are just about to get ready. So, without further ado, it's over to Pansy and Natu for map number 1.
Yeah, thank you guys. And you could feel that desk was really running out of stuff to stay, can't you? That was starting to get to that real fun territory.
Yeah, when you start talking about weather, you know, you've gone through conditions. Everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
A bit of you get a little bit of technical difficulties, and then you have to fill.
They happen. We've all been there. We've all done it. We've had to discuss weather, and the Australians as a collective. You know,
and the Serbians.
Does Janko represent a whole nation?
Of course he does.
He absolutely does.
We love stereotypes.
Yeah, we do. We can't get enough of them. We absolutely love a bit of it.
Because I'm a very stereotypical Finnish guy.
That's true. Yeah, of course. Of course. We're all just living up to these expectations that are placed upon us. You know, I got very excited seeing the rain today. I was like, oh, I feel like I'm back at home.
I was going to say,
Copenhagen's rainy. You know, this isn't been cold enough for you yet, obviously, as you're Finnish, right?
No, definitely not. You know, just looking out for the polar bears and whatnot. But
yeah, makes sense.
There's a game of Counter-Strike about to start.
There is. So let's talk about that one.
What do you reckon?
I'm actually excited for this because the players that I'd have liked to heard maybe discuss a little bit more on the desk are XMS and RPK at the moment. The two kind of unsung heroes for EnVyUs. Those two have been really breaking through again. I think everyone's excited to see RPK getting back into the swing of things, but XMS has been the kind of unsung hero. He's been really delivering for them.
Yeah, it definitely has, and now it's good to see if it can continue that trend here on Cobblestone against Fnatic. It's going to be EnVyUs on that T side, and they've gone with 4 armors and 1 player with a set of needs to work with. So something quite simple is going to come here from the French side.
And already with Happy having a fair amount of success. I say a fair amount. It didn't spiral too far, of course. It goes pretty well for them. It allows them so much opportunity. JW's position, however, might make it a bit uncomfortable. He's around the back very quickly, so Sixer got found. It's a 3v3 retake for Fnatic, and they could very much do this. Still no kits on board with them, but that's no real problem yet. They need to win the fights. Golden's there on towards XMS, but it's RPK still standing, but not for long. Down to just Scream, and we know he can do these situations. He can handle this. But the question is, will he? Taking their time. The answer, quite swiftly given, is no. Golden. Let me up to the name.
Yeah, 2 kills to his name, too, in that pistol round. So, great start from Fnatic. Very simple one there from Envy, just trying to plow into that A-bomb side. I think the big kill obviously was the one on Happy, who could have been a massive difference maker there if he actually managed to stay alive for a longer period of time to catch off the rotation coming from B. But unfortunately for Envy, he goes down before the situation really unfolds, and that's going to be Fnatic picking that one up. And as it seems, Envy goes straight into the old habits and go for a straight-up force buy.
We do have to see if their hearts are in it. As much as, it's a bit of a fluffier storyline, these guys are another event.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
They've already played once today. It's...
yeah, it's tough. Always, when you are in a tournament and then you go on to play online games, usually they end up not so great.
Yeah, so that could be a bit of a thing down the line. Again, quite early. Don't want to put that judgment on just yet. But you'd say as well, overall, this is quite an even matchup, no matter which way you cut it. So.
And they're also playing with 70 ping because they are obviously in Greece on an island, while Fnatic plays with 20-30 ping. So
yeah. That's after a server change.
Yeah, obviously the circumstances are not in EnVyUs' favor. But you can't, if you start thinking about that, then you've lost by default. Yeah, you've lost by default. So you just got to go on with it.
They're a veteran enough side that they should be able to kind of push that out of their minds, hopefully. Even on an individual level, you might get frustrated by it, but you've got to just kind of grind it through. But again, I will be curious to see their focus in this, their kind of attention to detail, because they finished their game quite early today as well. So they've been, been able to unwind. Yeah, exactly. So again, any damage done here is great, though. They did manage to take down Flusher. You saw that quite early on, but the lock back has happened, and I guess you'll find Happy.
Yeah, well, the issue is when you're doing a B split like that, you definitely I want to be able to get those entry kills either drop or in long. Not able to do any of that. And then obviously you're kind of bottled. And the run is over before you get anywhere near even a bomb plant.
Yeah. So again, kind of put themselves back to this position. A small investment here. Why not get a little something? You got a couple of kills there. So I say a couple of kills there. They got 1 kill there. But Scream and XMS going to go up on the Deagle, and happy with the P250. But this is one thing with EnVy. I'm always surprised how they come away with some of their victories on this map, because they are relatively predictable. Obviously, you know where people are going to be, but they have so much firepower. They're still able to do stuff like this. Able to get a gun away quite comfortably as well. The 1D comes through.
Yeah, you can't really prepare for that.
No.
It's going to be a bullet in your face, and you're down 4. So that's a great start for EnVy, who keep things slow. But obviously, they don't really have a lot to work with. No grenades to their name. They have those 2 Deagles and a P250, 1 FAMA, so it needs to be just straight up brawl that they need to come out on top of. Wait and hope for Fnatic to maybe get a little anxious, trying to get some peeks in, like JW here right now, and then just connect on the shots.
Yeah, you don't put it past players like Happy, Scream, XMS, these guys. They land them. There's no two ways about that, but the bomb's now been given over to Fnatic. That's basically just been put in their hands. So I don't think Fnatic might fully commit to it, but at least they know what the intentions are. You still have to put players like JW and Lecro towards the other side, because you know Happy's going to be by drop. And the thing is, even if you know he's there, he's still very good at playing it. He's a P250 here, so you can't expect much from him. But this round is just trying to make it costly for Fnatic and keep EnVy in a good position for themselves, but very tricky with what they've got.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot to play for them, and JW is going to get one cheeky once here, makes it 1 and another. It's all up to XMS now with that Deagle, trying to make some economic damage. Gets a kill, close to another one, but Flusha eventually, after a bit of an awkward fight, just get the kill.
Yeah, keeping rifles up as well. Starting to build a bit of bank on Fnatic. And yeah, this is when the real task begins for EnVy.
Yeah.
Got to see what they bring, got to see what they do. Again, I look towards XMS, RPK. I want to see good things from these guys. Not sure how fatigued they're going to be after today. They've had already some taxing results for themselves. Not exactly a brilliant result earlier over in Mykonos. So for them, they've got to really grind this out and want it. 6 are opting for the glass cannon here.
Yeah, I think the problem really is that you can get frustrated super easy if the start is rough for them. I can see it just being a bit of a landslide from EnVyUs perspective, but still early days. First whip around coming in and a slow start here from EnVy. Just waiting for Fnatic to make the first move as we have only 35 seconds into the round. Cheeky little double nade there coming in from Fnatic. Inflicts some damage. It's almost an added bonus.
It's always pretty just frustrating if you're Happy. You know what I mean? It's like they know I'm going to be here, so they're just nading me out. It's just like you got to walk away like, well, there it is. There's a little bit of damage done, and we're going to see if they can fold to this. I like Fnatic doing this kind of 3-2. It's Lecro leaning quite heavily towards A early on, allowing the 2-man stack towards A long. It's worked quite nicely. Crim's able to strike towards Happy. They can fall back, adjust from it, and see how they want to play it out. They've got a good idea from this one, and RPK is still making noise and still being present by B. The smokes, the flashes. They don't really know the full picture here.
Yeah, that's the difference we've seen from Fnatic so far with this new lineup, is that they have actual structure. They're doing things that make sense. It seems like they're actually playing for one another instead of an individual just feeling it and making a mad play, and it either works out or it doesn't. But now, again, it might be a clean sweep here, as it is for Fnatic, and that is purely just a product of them playing together as a unit and also stacking that A-bomb site with 3 players obviously being the right choice.
No, it's fun for me to watch. This is the first time I've got to cast these guys with with Golden there, with Lecro in this, and see what they've really produced, because it feels like they've had a really nice kind of a gelling period here. They haven't gone for the straight like, oh, we've got a new roster, let's just kind of see how it feels. It feels like they're going through the motions to make a good team rather than just like a short little run of success.
Yes, that's exactly what it has been. And I mean, the one thing that I wanted to measure from them in the early parts is that they have built a system that they seem to be playing under certain protocols instead of the Hail Marys that we used to see from Fnatic. And the score lines don't really matter to me at that point, as long as they are trying to build something. And they've actually had some good scores too. So added bonus.
Well, let's remember, last Pro League, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was the last one, that was the first time we saw that French split really come through, whereas G2 and EnVy, essentially.
Right.
And G2 at the start, they didn't look great, but you could see they were trying to build systems. They were trying to build a better brand of CS for them for longevity, and at the very start of it, they lost to EnVyUs. They lost to the counterparts of, the players who in theory got, left aside. So again, it's that kind of longevity we look for, the exciting good CS, because now you can see obviously for G2 and those guys there having brilliance throughout their performances, and Envy starting to look up as well. Obviously a little bit trickier in this instance, but again, let's see what they can achieve in this round. But I'm glad to see Fnatic in this sort of look. I'm excited to see what Golden can achieve, and obviously Lecro as well.
Yeah, look at them just being aware of the fact that Envy is probably going to be just on pistols and playing passively in drop, and they're going to let them go. Golden takes a cheeky peek and gets a kill.
Oh, this is nice. Not overextending. Yeah, it's that they were patient, and that's as much as it sounds like a negative when I say this about Fnatic, and it's not, because they can make it work. They're one of those weird teams that were able to get away with it for a long time. Obviously, that wasn't the case towards the end of it or when they tried to rebuild the lineup, but they looked patient. They had discipline. They weren't pushing. They were making Envy have to work.
Yeah, just great crossfires there, positional advantage, everything. Yeah, clean and easy, really. Not losing a member in a round like that will help them tremendously as the half goes on. And look at Envy. They're just whipping out those double ops on the T side in round number 6. Why not?
This is the thing. Whenever you see Happy in a team, you're like, was that actually like something he's theorized, or is he just feeling it now? It's like, remember he used to love picking up that AWP over Kenny? That used to be a fun bit of time, wasn't it?
Speaking of Hail Marys, this is definitely one of them. This is where you're hoping for your opponent to be taking those peaks, fights early on, something the old version of Fnatic would have done, but
definitely.
This version of Fnatic has shown that they have the discipline not to.
Let's see how they make moves, because you still want that CT side aggression to a degree. You still want that information. It's very hard to come by, but already a clear victory there between Flusher and Crims, able to lock down Scream, the classic duo of basically whoever's left in this roster.
Yeah.
But very little commitment, but I'm pretty sure Crims is going to hear these steps, so I'm wondering if the call's going to be made, or if they feel fine that they can still lock this down. Crims is very low. I guess that one and done spot's really good for him here as well. He's still got the molly, he can buy a bit of time, put it down if he feels pressure. So again, they're doing well here. RPK, though, going to make room. This is great. This opens up a chance for that A split to come through. Yeah,
exactly, and that causes a rotation from Fnatic as well. So the third guy goes towards middle. It's going to be Golden. Gets the kill onto RPK
Flusher's
as well.
Backed from this. That's interesting. Flusher moving away from A allows Sixer and XMS to creep up. Happy has success on Lecro, so now they're actually getting the fully incorrect picture. This is great from EnVyUs. They've had success in the worst places for Fnatic, so now they have no idea what's happening. Crims is left scratching his head, and he's got 5 HP. What is he going to do here? Again, Happy. You may doubt him every now and then. It may not be, the normal thing you look at, the double AWP T side, him lurking with an AWP essentially, but they had success in drop. They had the success. They pulled Fnatic to the wrong bomb site.
No, yeah, those were the kills that were the biggest part of this round in drop, and that caused a rotation. Effectively, the bomb was still inside a hole towards the A bomb site. Crims pushing middle, missing those two guys obviously along the way. So yeah, it just worked to a perfection for Envy, somehow making those double ops work. You don't say.
Yeah. No, I'm liking it though. It's an incredibly high risk they went for as well. The double AWP T side.
I don't really honestly, I don't really see a situation where it's really viable to have double ops on T side. I think it's just pure stupidity, to be honest with you. Like if I was a coach, I was like, what the heck are you guys doing? Like, what's the point of this? Like I don't see a reason at all. But that was definitely, I don't think the obs were, the reason why they won the round. It was more just how everything unfolded, the decision making they did. They got the right kills at the right point in time. That caused rotations and so forth. So, yeah.
So let's talk about double ops on T side, because you see it on, let's say, Train. Occasionally you might see teams go for it on Train on the T side, maybe. But it's rare.
Yeah, or Mirage. I mean,
Mirage, it can happen, yeah.
Back in the day, we used to have this strategy that was called. We had a funny name for it.
You're allowed to say it on air.
No, no. It's nothing bad. It's not a bad word.
Okay, that's good.
It's we went to Mont Fleur. Was basically the name.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So you'd have you could do it with AKs, but the point was that you had teams of 2 just going to harass both bomb sites. 2 guys pit, 2 guys be holes. You just basically try to create an opening and then just run with it after. And the one guy was just holding middle for any aggression coming in. So that's when double ops would be viable. Sometimes we used to have that for Aldo and Stonda, for example, in ENS. Because you have two pretty good offers right there.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to go to when you have that sort of power, right?
Yeah, so it's good to bring in chaos.
Yeah, I don't mind it. But again, this is a thing that you don't see it applied in a logical way here. It just worked because Happy did well, right? It's one of those things that you shouldn't be able to replicate every single time. It's not like it should be a go-to. I'm wondering if he drops it out to Sixer in this, or how they play it out. There is a pause right now. Not sure who's calling in. Oh, RPK's ping's nice.
Yeah, love to see that. considering they're
400 now.
Considering they're all in the same spot.
Who's on the torrents? Who's been downloading?
I think we're out of the server now.
Yeah, it does seem as though it might be the case. I'm going to move my chair back in. I was having a nice little sit closer to the screen.
I'm going to put my...
You're still kind of on brand. You're fine.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
just squidge back over in case, because this... Yeah, producer's like, I think we might need to come back to you guys. You see that countdown tick in the corner like, oh, Christ, it's happening.
Great fan of this.
It's happening. Well, you can see the production having to sort this out, and yeah. So basically what's happening is we need to get this one ready, because it does seem as though the Envy side are having a couple of issues with their ping. No kidding. 400, we might be asking a bit much. 70 was pushing it, but 400...
Actually, CSGO, the netcode is much better, obviously, than like in 1.6 for example. So you can actually get away with 70 ping.
Yep.
But of course, high-level competitive Counter-Strike, you're playing against the top-tier team. Yeah. You definitely don't want to have that 30 versus 70 ping difference, do you?
100%.
But
yeah.
they're in Mykonos. They're on an island.
What are you gonna? Yeah, what's gonna happen? I do remember when I used to play enemy territory many years ago. One of the guys I used to play with, who was in my team, was a guy from Malta, and every now and then his internet would just flat out cut out, and he'd call up the internet service provider, and they'd be like, "Yeah, apparently fish are eating the line." So there's literally like no fix for it. So you're just like, "Sorry guys, kind of screwed it." Now I don't know if that's true. I don't know if the ISP was just messing with him, which sounds kind of likely, but that's what he told us, and it got us out of clan-based officials. Because we're like, "Sorry guys, our 5th or 6th at the time. It was 6 on 6. That was a fun turn of events."
Hey,
but,
it used to be 6 on 6 as well.
Really?
Yeah, way back when though.
Huh.
This is 2000 maybe.
Sounds about the time I was playing enemy territory. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that is a long time ago. We are old.
Why are we having this discussion now?
Because we can discuss ping again if you'd like.
Listen, I mean, they should ask Chad for some good pointers,
advice?
because he always apparently used to play with like 80 ping.
Well, this was the thing. Like, I remember you used to go to LANs to get good ping, because that would always have like the best internet connection.
Yeah.
You'd be at home on your dial-up with like maybe 200 ping playing to like a Dutch server, and some Dutch kid would turn up with like the sick internet connection with like 50. You're like, who is this wizard? Why is he cheating? But yeah, no, it will be a factor, that 70 ping to 30. It's obviously not ideal, but I think the bigger problem was the 4-500 with RPK. So I don't actually know how they're going to fix that, because that's not exactly down to the Mykonos guys to fix. It's just hopefully something that does work out for them. Obviously,
listen,
a bit awkward.
RPK just became an HPW, a high ping warrior. That's an actual thing from the 90s.
Jesus.
Then you had the low ping bastards.
That was also a
LPB.
thing.
Yeah.
Wow. See, now that's a throwback.
That's a throwback and a half.
That is a throwback. I think producer Rush just tried to talk to me, but he's mumbling again. We're trying to... He's saying players are readying up, so things are looking good. If you wonder who Rush is, he's the guy who submits his own clips to the community place. That's him. I'm glad he got a little bit of grief for that. That's good, because I'll start submitting mine, and no one wants to see that. They'll just be PUBG clips at this point.
I know, right? That's a nice clip from a couple of years ago that you casted.
On Cbble, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on Cbble, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. What was it, with a Tech 9 or something?
Yeah,
ridiculous?
17 bullets on an M4, 1 S. 17 bullets, 1 kill, and then like Tech 9, 1 clip, and get 3 more kills.
It was disgusting.
Why not?
It was absolutely disgusting. We need to bring that out. We should do a community plays where it just does like throwback clips for everyone on the desk, like Yanko when he was still playing around. Sponge would be pretty limited for content, but I'm sure we can get something. Love you, Chad. Chad had some moments. Yeah, there was one game he did really well on, and it was like he always goes on about it as well though. Like it's one of those where it was like from I think a major or something that he's just like, yeah, that great game, absolute trash. I think it was like on Train, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, I see the countdown again. Uh-oh.
Not a fan of this.
Oh, ladies and gents, we're in for a fun time tonight. So here's the game. Here is the game, because I don't know how well this is going to go, because we're in the hands of the internet gods here that we don't define. So you get to talk to us. You at home can use the production. Do we have a hashtag people can talk to us on? Is there a hashtag?
ESL Pro League?
We could make that one. Shall we make one up, production? I'm going to make one up right now. Hashtag Rush. Hashtag ESL Pro League. If you want to talk to us, just get in contact, because I don't know how long we're going to be here for. So one question I
This
want
is
to
what the
ask you
server
guys.
is right now. It's wrecked.
Yeah, I think you're wearing the appropriate clothing. I can only say I've bought a really weird shirt that doesn't really apply as well. But something we can do is, as said, use the hashtag ESL Pro League. What are your first early memories of gaming? Because we've just discussed the old ISP sort of issues and that sort of fun. So let us know, because I know there's some other old folks out there, right? Because it's normally young ones like, I remember like installing CS:GO. That's my first memory. It's like, oh God.
I could tell you a fun one. When I was like 5 or 6 years old, and so I have older brothers, right? They're 8 and 12 years older than me. We had a Commodore 64.
Nice, very nice.
And the games were on cassettes, right?
Yep.
So somehow I thought if I would write on the label Batman, I would get the game Batman. But you can imagine the crying
when it didn't happen.
That happened
Absolutely
after
gutted.
I tried to run it. It's like,
oh no, Batman!
I wanted the Batman game. I saw it on the magazine. It looks so cool.
See, my early stories about gaming aren't great. It was like, did you ever play Age of Empires?
Yeah.
When you could go online and play it. I was really young at the time, and you used to be able to have a little chat before like the game and after the game. You could join a lobby and then discuss with others, and we'd talk like, oh hey, I'm this person, I'm this person. I'd be like, hi, I'm a 12-year-old girl. Talk to me on the internet, and everyone's like, that's a trap, isn't it? Can't get involved with this, can I? I was like, no one wants to be my friend, Dad. He was like, don't talk to these people. I'm like, all right, fine. No friends for Lauren early on. But yes, use your hashtag ESL Pro League and let us know your early memories, because the production saying it's going live again. I don't trust him. Don't trust him one bit. Don't trust Rush. He puts his own clips in Community Days. Community Days plays.
Did you ever play Action Quake 2? That's like basically the grandfather of Counter-Strike, because that mod was made, as far as I remember, by the same guy.
No, I never played that.
Yeah, there's all modification for Quake 2. That was like a fast-paced, like a Quake type, but with CS weapons. Basically, you could jump around. Very fast-paced.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it was actually.
Nice ping. What do you think about Olivmeister going to FaZe? You can take that one. What do you think? Are we past the superstar era now? You can put 5 incredibly talented players together and hope it works, or is there more to them? You've got Karrigan there. How does it balance out?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, just tremendous amount of pressure on Karrigan right now. Looking at the roster, you don't want to be the one to screw it up when you have that kind of a roster. But at the same time, you have to remember, you're looking at both Olofmeister and Guardian are players that you could argue might be past their prime. Right?
That's it. I've had the theory, though, of Olofmeister never really dropped off. Everyone else just learned what he did as well.
But also, he had that wrist injury, didn't he? So that also seemingly affected him.
Definitely.
But, I mean, obviously, the ceiling that these individuals have is, it's something you can't really compare, can you?
Yeah.
So if they actually do manage to extract everything out of themselves, and people realize on the team that it's a team game, someone has to play the second violin every now and again.
Chad's linking us HLTV pages of when he did well. Oh, bless. He's got that printed out, hasn't he? He's got that on the fridge at home. He's like, look what I did when I was young, and I was against Titan. We're not going to a break. No. We're talking. We're talking for a little while. We're going to have a little chat, because you know what?
It's become a show, talk show now.
Exactly. But no, so yeah, just to summarize your thoughts on that Olofmeister FaZe piece.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say, if that's a possibility to pick up Olofmeister, you don't say no to that. The same thing with Guardian. Obviously, he's been struggling since 2015, more or less. But again, I don't think it was the fault of Kiyoshima or Alu that, the things that were going on in FaZe. Obviously, something was wrong at the major. They were just not connecting at all, being very arrogant from an individual point of view.
Yep.
But if you do that, have that opportunity to pick that kind of players with the potential they have, and Olofmeister himself is a phenomenal player by default. That's the way it is, and that you can't argue with that.
Okay, what else do we have? We have people discussing now their first games. You've got some StarCraft people in here. A bit of Brood War coming in. Obviously, that's being remade as well, remastered. I think it is.
Yeah, just
Seen
launched.
a couple of people
in
into
August.
that. Yeah, I can't wait for the show matches though. Can you imagine it? You know what I mean? Like Flash and Boxer and people like that. That'd be cool. Best internet in the world goes to. It's not our fault. That's over in Mykonos. So don't blame us on that. Nice try. We are waiting on this to come back. If you are just tuning in and wondering why we're here, we have a bit of downtime. We have nothing else to do. So I just wanted to talk to you guys because, I like to say hashtags. Remember in the old days of 1.6 with Heaton and so on, but your clearest memory is with Anders of Freiburg. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean,
1.6 used to be fun. I used to watch that. Like, I never really played, 1.6. I played a bit of Source, because the UK scene back then, it was like, go to an iSeries, go to an Epic LAN or something. The Source players and the COD players all used to kind of, hang out a bit. But 1.6 was never on the same circuit, but I used to love watching it. It always just seemed so like, you know, next level of, you know, competitive sort of stuff.
Yeah, something I think I've discussed at some desk or something. But back in the day, speaking of Heaton, he would have wanted me to play for SK at in 2002, I want to say, at a CPL Cologne tournament. But unfortunately, I was underage.
Ah, so you weren't allowed because German rules, right?
Yes. So I got wrecked. So then 2003, SK, the most dominant CS team in the history type of a thing happened, right? So theoretically, if the stars would have aligned.
For once, Natu, you're too young for something.
Imagine that, right?
Jeez, that must have been a while, right?
That's half of my life ago, right?
Oh, Lord. My first game I ever played was the Harry Potter game on PlayStation 1. Wait.
Is there a Harry Potter
PlayStation 1 and Harry Potter. When was Harry Potter released? Like, I swear it's... No, I'm not gonna. I'm googling it right now, like trying to work out when it's released. Like, if you're just lying to me, if you do want to let us know, obviously, again, your early memories of Game to Game is always welcome. But I'm kind of curious here. Who do you think FaZe will buy out next? I think they're pretty solid right now. You know, there's like there's no weak links. Like,
no.
What else are you gonna do?
I don't know. Buy a coach from a team. So I don't know.
Yeah, who's the coach right now for FaZe?
Robin.
Yeah, but he seems to do well with them. I guess you need someone who's got that kind of weight to the name, right? Otherwise, you're not going to get the respect of these guys. You need a lot of that there. Are we just throwing up a couple now? You tired of looking at us, Rush?
Fair enough. I mean...
God, Rush, that's just rude.
Yeah, come on.
I remember the good
Let's get Rush on the screen.
Yeah, we need to have a segment with Rush, so you guys get to know who we're talking about. You can look him up on YouTube if you want. I'll find some nice videos. I'll put it out there. First game that got me into gaming was Command & Conquer, Red Alert. Yeah, no, I remember watching... Who was it? Apollo, who StarCraft 2 caster used to play the hell out of those. A very good player in that one.
Yeah, I used to be one of the favorites when we were LAN partying with my buddies back in the day.
Yeah, it was always good fun. Like, there was like a theme tune that I used to get stuck in my head whenever I used to play that. Enjoying the talk show. Thank you very much for lying to me. I appreciate you guys lying.
No one wants to watch Counter-Strike.
They just wants to talk nonsense, really. Someone's telling me they've dropped the TV remote on your lip and now it's swollen. Please don't hurt yourself.
Wow.
You know,
how does that happen?
Yeah, I don't understand that. I really, really don't. What about the new Godsent? What are your thoughts on the new Godsent roster?
I mean, it's felt so far before this current lineup that it's just been like a non-stop, you know, change after change happening. It never felt like they were established with a 5-man lineup, so I really do hope that they actually now stick with this 5-man lineup. Getting in Freddie B, I think, has been a great thing for them because now they have an actual in-game leader, and I'm hoping, so far, not a lot of evidence out of it, but I hope they actually build a structure similar to what Fnatic is doing, you know, that things make sense because they have a lot of great tools in there. Twist, Disco, Dopplan, you know, that enables for a lot. Great double hopping, for example. You have Dennis, a god with pistols, and the list goes on, right? I mean, they have a good set of tools.
Absolutely. Now, I've been told we're going live, so I'm going to believe it for now. I'm going to believe it for now, Natu. If you do want to keep your questions coming, we'll keep our eye on them. If we do have time in the future to go through it all, we'll look into it. But thank you very much for getting involved, guys. I always do appreciate it. And we can see something cheeky here from J-Dub. He was feeling it. Is he going to go for it? No. I was hoping for the boost and have a little look, but he backs away from it, so all settled.
Exactly, and still double ops here from EnVy on both 6-0 and Happy. Happy being the one here, trying to probe towards the B-bomb site. No one else really doing anything here on the map from EnVy's side. They're just waiting for Fnatic to be proactive.
Yep. I'm just checking the pings as we speak, just making sure there's not a cheeky 500 sitting with them. They're fine. All is well. So, let's have a little look and see what EnVyUs are up to. I guess you're hoping when you've got the double up on the T side that you're going to get that that easy pick, right? You're hoping that someone kind of allows you that chance. It's not going to be given this time, or not so easily. You've got to work for your dinner. So now Flusher, Crims, Golden, even pull himself over a little bit, kind of responding to this presence shown, but this could be a nice quick play off the back of it. RPK and Happy looking ready to jump off towards drop. So again, given that control, but JW might stop this, and as does Lekro. Good positioning and not over-rotating. Kind
of weird they would just send RPK there alone, and he gets thrown under the bus, basically. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is making its way through B long here, setting up for potentially some smokes here. Or are they just going to plow through with a flash here?
Well, They do have one smoke left and nothing. Oh, JW didn't expect that, did he? He's got Lekro with him, so he might be able to stay alive for a second, but oh, it's the Lekro show right now, and Golden chimes in with one for himself as well towards XMS, but it's a 3v2, it's a bit of a standoff. The double orbs are left up here, and 6 are caught crossing and just put down in the end. Good rotates from Fnatic coming in at the right time, not overextending. JW got a little isolated then on site, but all said and done, they maintain again.
Yeah, I mean, if JW would have hit that first shot, that would have pretty much nullified the round straight away. Not even a flash coming in from Envy, just a straight-up contact play. They get somewhat near to a bomb plant, but still very, very Fnatic-sided round, I have to say.
Someone just said their first experience of competitive FPS was listening to me casting COD 4. I'm so sorry. I hope that I can only make up for that in the future. But going back to topic, it's looking very one-sided for Fnatic here. It looks like, you know, it feels like two teams in very different positions right now. Envy, this will not be their main focus, if I'm honest, tonight. And I don't think there's any reason to sugar the pill. And yeah, I think you've just seen a big example as to why. I'm not sure if that's just because of the restart. Maybe?
I don't know. No, but I'm saying like the money is weird right now. They have an AK. They've kind of invested into it.
They've kind of got down drop, though. I guess that's something, right? And they're pressuring JW, which is a big issue. He needs help here. He's somehow alive. I don't know how he stayed alive this long. That's great for him. It's making it work into this crossfire. It's become a little costly for Fnatic, but they're keeping 3 players alive, it seems, every single time. So again, the money for Fnatic is going to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, it keeps building up, doesn't it? So that helps. They'll keep the ops in play back on JW's hands, and let's see what Envy does now, though. Their money is just all over the place, to be honest with you. 2 guys that have money to buy, and 3 guys that have no money to buy. So if I'm Envy, trying to reset the situation, as I do. Don't buy too much into this. And then get an actual buy in the following round.
Yeah. Again, looking at this one, I've got to say as well, credit to Golden. Considering we know that Envy do love playing drop, and whether it be just happy or if they put a lot of plays there, he's playing it really well. He's let them through a couple of times, but plays through the window. He's never kind of getting caught in that middle ground. It does put a lot of pressure on JW, to be fair. That's the one, I guess, side to it that's a bit of an issue, is that if they do pressure him, he can be caught out. But I'm seeing something quick here from EnVyUs trying to pressure the side, and they make it out well. Good flash timing on that. Good play off the back of it. But can they get anything more done? Happy finally comes into gear. I speak of Golden, then he lets it down. How dare you? How could you? But if they keep 3 alive again for Fnatic, this is fine. It's all good. 2 kills, though, for Envy isn't the worst thing in the world. They just need to stabilize here. Yeah,
if they want to go for the speed splits Envy, then you kind of need to make sure you get openings again. And drop would be the preferable point, because then that will then cause the focus from the guy who's playing bomb side, which is JW mostly, have to switch from long to drop. And so then that opens up an opportunity from B long. So, you know, it's a matter of trying to get those CTs sandwiched on the bomb side and make it hard for them to find clean angles they can just hold on to. So far, Envy just unable to do that.
Right, now let's see what Envy can do here. Decent purchase, not perfect. XMS still suffering slightly, but hopefully they can make something work. JW trying to make something happen. That's the first time they've gone aggressive in those sort of individual moments to that sort of degree, and that could be an issue, actually. That's opened up a really big window of chance here. RPK, though.
That molly, though.
Just bullied, broken. The Molotov burns below him, and he had to commit. Now, Lekro surrounded. He will get outdone. XMS holds some sort of control over this now. The bomb should be planted. The site is theirs. The retake looks unlikely.
But now at least Envy managed to do exactly what I was saying, you know. They managed to bring enough chaos so that the players on the bomb site had to focus on multiple points or choke points on the bomb site to be able to get on that bomb site from an Envy point of view. And Envy do prevail. It's only Golden and Flasha alive here out of position. The bomb has been planted as well.
I'm wondering if they get more guns where that could get pretty awkward for Envy. They could probably still get a decent enough purchase, but you want to build up that money as much as you can, as cleanly as possible, because Fnatic are well set. You're never going to impact them, or at least not in the next couple of rounds, so they're pretty comfy. But you get 3 rifles taken away, so XMS gets the upgrade. You lose out on Happy and RPK, but you get that ever so needed round on the board. 2 now, to be precise, and that might be the lifeline back into this.
Yeah, and I mean, they kind of should need to win out this half right now, because that's a one-tap from the one-tap man himself. But yeah, Envy definitely need those 7 rounds. You know, 6 at the minimum, I'd say, to have a crack at it.
Well, looking at the money as well, we had the bank of JW for a while. He was sitting quite nicely, but he's dropped out Golden now. So again, the money starts to not necessarily dwindle for Fnatic, but it gets put back into that kind of realm of possibility for Envy to get into that uncomfortable position for them to deal with. So for now, Envy control the money, but they don't have the orbs up. That worked quite nicely to a degree, but then they kind of overdid it with the double orbs maybe there. Didn't quite pay off as they'd like, but again, let's see how they approach it this time. It looks like Fnatic are paying a far greater piece of attention towards this B side.
Yeah, and Envy has put a lot of focus on this B bomb side as well. Now you see this time around though,
they haven't seen anything.
Yeah, Eximus made his way on plateau. Not
Crims.
sure if they've seen him though.
Yeah, here we go. RPK is going to show up on radar no matter what. JW's already there. It's down to Flusher and Crims really to hold the site if there'd anyone crossed up soon. Scream taking down JW is a bit of a problem. They have no one watching that push, but these two are locked into the site and they will fight as hard as they can to keep control of this. The bomb goes down in their vision, and this is them backs to the wall sort of CS for Fnatic, and they're coming out swinging. Brilliant stuff for them. It's Happy left in a 1v4. I like the idea. The fake almost worked, but as soon as they didn't see anyone, because they had Lekro playing the side, they had players relatively close by, the swing came back in, right back round towards A.
Yeah, you'd really want to see them, Envy, using some of the smokes they had to just try to block the visibility from the CTs, then just throw the mollies in the back of bomb site and go in as a wave together. Make sure you are close enough to a teammate to be able to get retaliation if the possibility comes. But nah, they just got crossfired by Fnatic, unfortunately.
Yeah, money back to very little for Envy for now. Looking to do what they can. Bomb plant would be great. Cause that mayhem. We've seen him do it before. Very, very possible. Taking over drop now. Golden going to be put to task. Committed towards the electric box side. So that does mean the Flusher needs to watch the window just in case. But RPK's been caught as he tries to jump down, and the flashes come through, and Envy begin to pressure that B side of things. Well controlled so far. Lekro, that position's not normally good for two, but he makes it work. He does get taken down, though, and Happy strikes towards Golden. So there's a little bit of a chance here for Happy to do a little bit more damage, but no. Flusher stops it before it begins.
Yeah, rather clean there for Fnatic. And now we get into the meat of it. An actual buy round coming in from Envy, though they will not have the money to buy an AWP, at least with an armor. So they seemingly go for the AK-47s. There's a UMP in play. Let's see Zet for RPK as well. Just making sure they have utility. Now, a lot of the action has been towards the B-bomb side, has to be said, in the last 5-6 rounds. And it seems like that's going to be the case once again.
Smoke goes up. V line it up. Smoke towards connector. Could allow a bit of drop pressure to come through, but JW's relatively unchecked on so far. 2 Molotovs left, 1 now on Sixer, and that's all they've got. So they've got to make this one count pretty soon. Good work from RPK. Just drops down and completely sweeps aside the player towards drop. Now Lekro could be in trouble. RPK turns his attention eventually, but it wasn't him to take him down. Could be a issue, and yes, it is. Flusher and JW completely unchecked upon. Get away with a hell of a lot. RPK was doing what he can, but by then, you know, with those two getting away with so much as they did, yeah, you're pretty good.
Rinse and repeat from Envy, trying to split that V-bomb side. They actually do get the entry from RPK, but Lekro, I think that those 2 kills he got before dying were the big difference makers. If he would have gone down, Envy would have gotten a hold of the whole bomb site. And then it would just be very, very hard for Fnatic to chime back into it. But instead, they do. Lekro gets the kills, and again, Envy in a massive disadvantage with the upgraded pistols and a scout in the hands of Sixer.
Oh, this nade. Oof. Doesn't do as much as expected. Always seems to be the way, but Flusher now, being relatively aware of this, slows him down. Going to be able to get Lekro into a good position for it if they actually committed off the back of it. And I like the way Crims is pushing up. If that smoke dissipates, they put down by the middle doors there, he can actually punish it. But no, Flusher gets found by the CZ. RPK CZ has been exceptional, but Lekro has been better. As soon as they step through that wall of smoke, it has been a huge deny. And there it is again. Just the bow on top for Lekro. 4 kills. No chance for Envy.
Seems like we're getting the one-sided matches tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. On paper, they shouldn't. Well,
no, I mean, yeah. I mean,
situations accounted for, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, Envy right now attending a tournament. Not the optimal situation to be in when you have league matches to play. But no, then again, it's not an excuse, is it? No. It's not supposed to be something that should have an effect on you.
No.
You are professionals.
They get paid a fairly decent amount, to say the least.
Yeah, a lot more than I used to back in the day.
And RPK reading JW like a book this time. Expecting maybe that pressure, that presence to be there again. We saw JW trying it before. Last time he had the opportunity to have an ult. But Lekro, this guy is lovely to watch, finding so much room and value to his positioning. RPK looks to challenge and might be able to catch him off a touch, but again, this is not where the main hit's coming in. Scream, XMS, and Sixer are working towards A as we speak, and RPK does land the adjustment towards Electro in the end, so he causes a problem for Fnatic. Do they stick with the 2 players dedicated towards A, or do they gamble it out? It looks like, again, Golden's okay. He's keeping tabs on the situation, and as soon as EnVy make a bit of presence here, they're in trouble.
Yeah, well, it's going to be all down to Crims right now, isn't it? He's in a prime position to try and stop this, but this could be a one-and-done position. Unfortunately, from his point of view, he has a lot of players here to see, but then again, it's actually going to be EnVy rotating, and I think Crims might be able to hear this.
And Golden's...
So this is getting weird.
Yeah, this is like the double, triple fake sort of thing, so... Yeah, it's good. RPK's got such a good position, such a forward spot, and now his Scream holding drop. It's the sensible thing to do. It's the safe thing to do to get the round on the board, rather than just kind of like plowing through towards A. And XMS positioned well. They played that out really nicely.
Yeah, they did. A lot of patience, not committing to anything. Then eventually knowing that the B bomb side was actually clear, and that's where they went. Third round on the board, I think it might be too little, too late. But yeah, well, you never know.
Yeah, this has been a very one-sided affair so far. We hoped that this wasn't going to be the case, but it seems as though it might just be like this going forward. Again, though, this is not the only map. There is a map to follow afterwards, and there's also that other half coming up. As you've seen here so far, the action has been good for Fnatic. A decent start every now and then for EnVyUs, showing some potential, but it seems as though maybe the sun's got to them today. Only 3 rounds going into the second half. We'll see if they can keep it up after the break. Welcome back. The scoreline sits at 12-3. Fnatic putting up a dominant performance so far. Whether or not they can continue it, we're going to find out any second. Now, EnVyUs not looking prime in this one.
Definitely not. You can. I think I can definitely agree with that. But
yeah,
still a half to go here. You never know. We've seen weirder things in life, haven't we? So, but I don't think it doesn't seem very likely, does it?
No. Again, it's just such a long road. And Sixer's just having a great time. This is literally what I do on ESEA.
Alrighty then.
And it's weird because it's working for him. It doesn't work as well for me. Okay, I like it. Just what? What?
Not even gonna spend any breath to try and analyze that. I just refuse to.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly along.
Just. Huh? Top 4. EnVy are back in it, boys. They're back. They're ready. They're bringing out the A-game strats. I don't know what we're going to see.
18 strats more than anything.
just running up, just having a great time. Yeah, it works. So I can't doubt it. That's the thing. If it works, it's not stupid. And EnVy now have the buy. They've got the SMGs out, MP9s, UMPs, and a rifle on Scream. I like that. Scream can just kind of anchor either side of things. He can get himself to the right place at the right time. And Fnatic on the other side. Deagles, CZs, and a touch of armor.
Yeah, this is gonna be a matter of them trying to just plowing basically. Got some kills, but it's going to be 6 here to get the first one of the flush shot. So that's one of them neutralized. As 3 of the Fnatic members right now just looking into getting into drop.
Yeah, problem is for them, they've got a few players looking at them. One being Happy now. Crim's got a lot of work to do and not much chance to do it. Happy there in the heels will be more than enough.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not a great fan of the force buys when you have a massive lead after first half. Why don't you just play conservatively? You know, play the long game, and maybe get some flashes and smokes and try to force a bomb plan. But fully investing into it, and then potentially you're going to be crippling your first weapon round. Not really sure if it's worth it. As in, I'm saying it's not worth it. As in, what the hell are you doing?
Subtlety, of course. But right now, this is time to feed. Might as well just stand in the molly.
And give them the cheeky, rather die to a molly than give the frags to the UMP, yeah.
Or do that. Or just, what? I don't understand CS sometimes.
Ah, cheeky.
Letcrow has been quite smart about this.
Yeah, that's forward thinking. Throwing away that M4. RPK doesn't even bother to go and try to find it.
Yeah, this is great. Got the P250. God, these are blisteringly good shots, aren't they? Gets it, hides it away. No one can find it in time. Good stuff. Forces the rebuy. So, Scream, to be fair, did have 7k. Investing into this, though, keeps him humble. Again, though, that's not bad. You don't want that money to build up too much against you. Fnatic, yeah, you got a good lead, but you can see what happens when that pistol goes another team's way. Right back at it. Right back at the door. 6-12. Plenty to see here.
Early aggression shown by Envy. Have an op there in spiral stairs. Actually, it's going to be Scream now. And that op is going to be down to 6er in the side hall. Meanwhile, though, Fnatic just taking things slowly. Waiting for any proactive actions coming in from Envy. But so far, we're not getting much out of it.
No, Flush has gone for a walk, though. Very isolated as well.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
Not a great fan of
Not sure if
that.
that was a misread or what, but JW's got absolutely destroyed as well. This is a very disjointed round here.
Yeah, I mean, and I've been here, praising how finally we get this structured Fnatic, and then they just go and fluff this round. Like, no point whatsoever. Both JW and Flush, the two with the most experience, go in and just take some individual fights. And they don't win them either, so that doesn't help.
That's the thing. It almost seems like the right idea when it works out every now and then, but you still want that consistency, and you still don't want the rest of the Fnatic guys left in this instance. Golden now, last man standing. And yeah, put out of his misery by Envy, who are right back at this. And yeah, that was a really bad round from Fnatic.
Yeah, no, seriously, no cohesion whatsoever. Like, okay, that first of all, yeah, trying to gain some map control, but please have some kind of protocol how you do it. Don't just send Flush to try and go and get a duel and spiral. Smoke off that other entrance to the A ramp, and then have some kind of flash come in, have someone to back him up.
Yeah.
At least get a refract, make it a 4-4. Gives you a lot more room to play with. Instead, Flush going for a cheeky duel there, loses that. JW going for a cheeky duel in the plat, loses that, and then you're looking at a 3-on-5.
Yeah, it was rough. Don't get me wrong, I expected a competitive game overall with these guys. I didn't think it was going to come from this sort of play, though. I didn't think Fnatic would let it slip in the rounds like that, but, it happens, so we'll see if it continues. If maybe Envy, if they start to really lock this down, if they start to really kind of, turn the screws, this game could become a bit of a problem here for Fnatic, because this should be a gift. When you get that sort of half, okay, yeah, you look past the pistol, didn't win that, fair enough, but then the first gun round and, the following sort of things, you've got to really lock it out, but all right, we'll see if that goes forward. We've got the CZs waiting for the jump off towards drop once the flash comes in from Golden, which should be any second now.
Yeah, RPK, though, he's positioned so that he shouldn't be in that much trouble, but he does get planted by it. He's going to even for a bit of trouble. He gets dinked, gets the kill, though, but goes for seconds. I don't know why. He's lost his mind.
I don't get it. He had no HP. He goes right back into it. I'm baffled. This game just doesn't make sense to me sometimes, and maybe it's just one of those things he didn't realize he was dinked. I don't know.
How would you not realize at that point?
I'm drunk. The beers.
There is no reason,
they've
Lauren.
Been sipping on the old beers, haven't they? They've had a couple, and 6 are now. Having to be quite cautious about this. I hate this angle, but he's going to show us how you can do it. finding one, but already one player pushed up towards stables. Oh, sweet Jesus, Sixer. What's going on? What is this CS? That's great from JW, but what is this game today?
Needs to plant now. 5 seconds left.
He's got the plant, but does he need to reload as well? I'm curious to see what he's got left in the chamber. Well, he's got an AWP. That's more than enough. He gets the tag. Now needs to reload as well. Down to the final clip that he's got in his pocket. XMS is slowly but surely creeping his way forward, and JW now worried, now cautious, now leaps up and down, but XMS is closing in as we... Oh, JW goes to the classic approach of what he can do there. But I don't understand CS in these sort of atmospheres. I don't understand how he gets away with this, and... Oh, this shot was nice too. Just a little adjustment at the end. But what is going on here?
Not pretty Counter-Strike is what's going on here. Fnatic not supposed to have any dice in that round, but give them 1-by-1 duels and close range battles with some CZs, and they definitely take that. 80 days a week.
Yes.
Obviously, JW with the nice clutch in the end.
It's just like, if you look at the Fnatic roster, you still have like Flusher there, you still have like Crims there. It's like, don't give them CZs and give them a chance, you know what I mean? Like, just play it out, just play it normal. You don't need to take risks, because they're the type of team that will win those. Like, let's be honest, that used to be Fnatic's thing. It's like, even if they were on pistols, they were still just disgustingly good. But that aside, it's going to be one of those games where I'm just sat here baffled by a lot of it. But 7-13, Fnatic have a good purchase. On the other side, a little bit weaker than liked, but RPK this time keeps control of his sanity, takes down Golden. We will at least have the first frag going towards Envy.
Well, JW retaliates straight away though. Makes it into 4-4, and he's got the idea on Sixer. Doesn't connect on the bullet though. Now it's going to be Scream with a beautiful shot on the leg row.
He's a swift player, isn't he? Crims now trying to get back into this. Oh.
This is just a trade, back and forth, back and forth. But see?
Yep, back and forth we go. Well, when it stops, I don't know. 30 seconds now, Crims and Flusher. The classics for Fnatic now. Having to work it out, but look who's in the smoke, coming through the worst possible time. This could be RPK, and does have the M4 switched out. The Orphan, he's just been, well, he's been gifted the golden opportunity, hasn't he? 2 kills, 4 overall for RPK, and denying Fnatic that back and forth trend that was coming up.
Yeah, he broke the pattern there in the end. Eventually, and given Envy a bit of a lifeline here, as we can see, Fnatic's economy right now is shattered. Only JW with money, enough for an AWP buy, and they decided to go for it.
Look, this is actually the ideal Fnatic purchase. Tech 9 CZs and an open JW. That's all you need. So I believe. I think this round is going to go their way.
All right.
I don't want it to. But maybe XMS will, you know, remind me that everything's okay in the world. Maybe he'll walk through the smoke and remind me the world is unfair. Who knows?
Or that the world is in flames.
Yeah. Underhand flash. Backs away. Fnatic aren't retaining much control by A, but then again, aside from that weird pistol round that Envy pushed out on, they haven't really ventured back into that. It's going to be RPK with a lot to do, but he's been up to the task.
Yeah, no, that's, I have to say, drop is one of the toughest spots to hold. It's going to have some Fnatic members coming in, but RPK, the nice cheeky 2K, that's going to help him a lot. And his team as well, 5-1-3.
Yeah, JW's AWP's not been unleashed yet either, so not had the opportunity to put into play, but Happy's positioning's good for it too. And at this point you're wondering, you know, what can I do with this? Got 47 seconds, got 5 alive against us, 2 smokes, and you've got XMS starting to pry for information as well. Not sure what he's seen or what he can find out, but a good flash might set him into this. If there's any other to put to play, we'll see if he actually goes off the back. And there comes the next flash, peeks it, doesn't actually see any.
Envy doesn't really need to be the one to be proactive at this point in time. They have a 5-on-3 advantage. Let Fnatic commit to it instead. XMS is playing with fire right now.
It's 20 seconds. I don't know what Fnatic expect to achieve here. They're going into a fully locked down site. Now, JW's the last man alive, so he's going to run away and keep hold of that AWP. But yeah, that was, you know, sort of against the odds sort of stuff going in there from Fnatic. I don't know what they expected.
Nah, not too much. I mean, after they lost those 2 guys in drop,
yeah,
that was pretty much all she wrote, because then there were 3 remaining in long. They were just hoping for Envy to push, you know, take a peek, and then get that kill, and then run away with it. They kind of did get that opportunity with XMS trying to take the peek, but unable to connect the shots, and therefore round is over. But this is EnVy just slowly creeping into this game, actually.
And again,
Because the money for Fnatic is...
it's so bad.
Yeah, they have to save this one.
Yeah, I've got to say as well, the backbone for me in this half has been RPK and Drop. He's been so good at holding that down.
To be honest with you, for Fnatic to just take a timeout at this point in time, try to reconsider their options. Just think things through for a little bit, and also like kind of slow down the momentum that EnVy has been able to gather.
Yeah, that is true. And Fnatic used to be known for those, pauses and going to that sort of thing. So they definitely can go to it if needed. Not opting to go for it just yet. Still going to run this out. May see it after this round, possibly. If it doesn't go their way, even if it does go their way, I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Sixer going to take down the Danger Man.
Yeah, the only one with a weapon. Well, a weapon other than a pistol.
Yeah. P250 on Lecro did get 2 kills last time. Doubt he's going to have the same chance here. He's being closed in on from all angles. Happy round the back. Scream from the front. It's just a sandwich you don't need.
Scream.
There we go. RPK, it's fine. Look, RPK comes in like, look, you're about to dribble a bit. I'm here. Don't you worry. I've got it.
Such a Scream thing to do, though. You have 2 bullets in your clip, and you're like, I don't need to reload.
That's one extra.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 1 spare.
Exactly.
Well, all right. No timeout from Fnatic. AKs across the board except for JW has to go with a CZ just because he saved that AWP in the round 2 rounds ago. And obviously didn't get any money from the round they lost.
Yeah, lots of attention put down towards B early. I'm maybe just trying to fake this out.
Yeah.
So they put down loads of smokes, loads of quick flashes, but they didn't quick commit. So again, they might need to send someone out as the sacrificial lamb, which might be JW. Just put him out there, like, look, just make it look like we're going here. Just make some more noise. Do a little something, because XMS does get drawn into this. He's like a moth to the flame, but he does indeed win out the situation. But in the meantime, Lecro did find XMS. So again, 4v4 now.
Yeah, well, that's a very doable situation. But the problem for Fnatic is that RPK has been on point here at drop. Needs to be that again, I think, because Golden and Crims are just waiting for the opportunity to plow through, and there they come. It's a 1-for-1 trade. It favors Fnatic, obviously, but Happy here comes in for a bit of seconds, doesn't connect.
Now this is good. Now you're going to have Sixer watching the cross. I don't know if they can negate that with maybe a flash or something to put him off the scent. Smoke will do the
that
job.
Works.
He's going to walk right through it, though. There comes the flash. That's such good news. You can see how close that crosshair was to the player walking from stairs, but the flash was well placed. Bomb plant. This retake is unlikely for Scream, as god tier as he can be. Flusher! Straight through the smoke.
Yeah, that helps, doesn't it? But yeah, no, I mean, slowly, progressively taking over that B bomb side. First taking duels on B long. They managed to get it. And then effectively, eventually they went down to drop a 1-for-1 trade. That's obviously going to be beneficial. And then basically the guy that was trying to help in drop goes down as well. And that's going to be the bomb side in Fnatic's control. So not like a decisive execute or anything. They just basically just went for the trade kills, and they used the numbers advantage to themselves.
After this, there will be Cash coming up, so another fun battlefield for these two to throw down on. But Fnatic have yet to win this. They've just finally broken through back into this, really, bearing in mind they had, what, 12 rounds on the half? So it's not like it's been a great display of CS from them. They've been struggling on this T-side a fair amount, and actually EnVy have been doing quite nicely for themselves. You can see them trying to tend for long. This hasn't gone well, but normally they do get the kills towards either Sixer or Scream, but then it's RPK who bails them out. Too close for comfort. He gives away a little bit too much, and Scream now picks up the AWP. I don't know if he's really up to task, and no, he's not.
All right, now you're Fnatic. You kind of want to run with this, but instead they decide to wait it out. They know the rotations are going to come in. The thing is, if you are going to run with those 2 kills, you're going to have to make it right away, but before you know it, it's going to be that rotation to come in. RPK gets 1, but Crims to retaliate.
This is good, though. They're taking the bomb to B. Again, they can leave Crims here to just keep making a bit of noise, make sure they can't rotate back through door. Doesn't need to do anything other than this. Now that JW is going to find out that B is completely absent, Crims should be able to spot the player in about a couple of seconds, maybe make the call, just make sure that everyone knows what's happening, because XMS is en route. It's not for free, and that's as to why Golden goes down, but Crims and JW instantly reply, but that was a little dangerous for a second.
Yeah,
there.
slightly risky, you would say.
Yeah.
But works out in the end for Fnatic, unless we can see now EnVy. Their money is in shambles. Unfortunately, they're only going to have a measly FMOS in the hands of RPK, but he's definitely been on point in this game, obviously sitting on top of the scoreboard for his team. At least since the server restart.
Yep. He's been incredibly good. This stack, if this works, oh, it might work. No, Golden Necro, thank you for doing this, Fnatic. Plow through. Don't fall to these tricks, the Virtus Pro line of players sort of thing.
Wow.
Essentially a stack. Screaming happy though, the last two alive. They're not falling for it. Fnatic, though, still going at this. They're still giving it a good go, but Golden is done. He's had enough. The game was far too close for comfort. It didn't need to be that close either.
We used to do that kind of a rush mid CT side in practice with the Finnish teams. Usually didn't work, but just to get rid of that round and move along. But yeah, Fnatic, obviously the better team in this map, has to be said. You know, after that massive first half, it was just a matter of time before they would close it out. It got a little bit iffy there down the stretch, obviously, due to them losing and the piss around EnVy just rushing them basically. And then they forced spot, you know, and it's kind of got into this evil circle. EnVy almost pulled it back, but eventually, you know, Fnatic managed to break the economy for EnVy, and they pick up the victory on the map number 1.
Well, as you said, map number 1, there is a map 2 on the way, and if I'm not mistaken, it will be Cash after the break. So, guys, do stay tuned. We'll keep you up to date in just a second.